Hi guys, Samantha from Jessama Tutorials here, and today is day 11 of our Cracklathon, where I am doing a crackle every day for a whole month. So today we are going to be using the 99% isopropyl alcohol technique that I demonstrated on day 4 of the Cracklathon, I do believe, but today we are going to be doing it with the Mokume Gane. So if you haven't already watched that previous video, go check it out, but you don't have to watch it in order to do this crackle. So what you're going to need is to start out with a piece of white clay and a piece of black clay. I'm using Primo and they're rolled out on my thickest setting, which is about 2 millimeters thick. And then I'm going to use a square cutter. This is the largest square cutter in my soft squares cutter set, just to cut out nice neat squares, which will save us time, and it also means that you have a lot less waste clay. And we'll take that, and I'm going to pop white on black and black on white so that we have alternating colours, like so. Then just give the tile a quick wipe, because that will have left a little bit of clay on it and you don't want that. And I'm using a glazed ceramic tile. So here's what we've got. Now what I like to do is I like to just pinch one end just to thin it out a bit before I put it in the pasta machine. And again, I'll be putting it through my thickest setting. Like so. And I'm always going to get a little bit of excess on the edges here. I like to trim that off. And go and have a look at my playlist on leftover clay. I'll see about providing a link to that in the links below. There are lots of ways that you can use up your leftover clay. So I've rolled it out once, cut again, and stack. Trim, because I want it to be a pretty neat Mokume Gane. You don't have to make it super neat, it is completely up to you. And this is the way you keep your lines nice and straight. So if I show you here, you can see how nice and straight they are. Okay, then I'll roll it through again. And again, you are going to receive a little bit of excess on each edge. Trim that off, and you can see lines are nice and straight. And I'm probably going to stack and roll one more time. I might just stretch that a little bit to get fit. There we are. Give it a quick trim. And with this technique, I would recommend trying it with the first video that I showed, where we basically just used white clay with alcohol inks, because it's a little less prep work, and also if you mess it up, you generally get quite a nice colour with the alcohol inks, whereas with this you would basically, if you messed it up, you're just going to end up with grey. So I would recommend, if you've never tried it before, trying it out with the day 4 crackle. Okay, so that is how thin I like my lines to be. I like it so that the white is just starting to turn a little grey and the black is starting to turn a little bit lighter as well. Okay, now let me just show you the isopropyl alcohol. And this is the concentration you want. You want at least 99%. I've got 99.8%. Here's what it looks like, and I got it from over here. And that is what we're looking for. Now, we do want to stamp this first. So you can use any stamp you want. I have chosen to use this indented pebble stamp that I have, and it's made of silicone. You can use polymer clay, rubber, silicone, anything you want. Okay, and I do have a little bit of excess from my previous project on here, but I do just want to clean off. There we go. Okay, now you want to decide which way you want it around, and I want it to be white side down. Place it down, then take, either you can dust this with cornstarch, you can spray it with water, or you can use a wet sponge to press it in. And the reason I do this is because I don't want the clay sticking to my fingers. And I used to use cornstarch quite a bit, but I've switched around to the sponge because the sponge is wet, so it's basically using water, but it doesn't have enough water on it. They would react with brands such as Pardo, who don't like water. And the thing is with the cornstarch is when you put cornstarch on the back, it makes it non-stick even after you have finished using the stamp, and that can affect the project later on. And you can see what an interesting effect we're getting on the back here. This is a technique that I keep saying I want to explore, and I just never get around to it. It's basically because you're thinning out the black more by pressing it into your stamp. You're going to be creating almost like a reverse of your pattern. So just make sure to press that all in. There we are. And you can check from the back just to make sure that it's all pressed in properly. And then what I like to do is I like to make sure my tile is nice and dry. Take that while it is still in the stamp, and then I will press down while it is still in the stamp and secure it onto the tile, because that's what we need to shave our Mokume Gane. And generally it's easier to just get it semi-stuck onto the tile if you can, before you take it out of the stamp, because when you press on it like this you can't press very hard because otherwise you will end up squishing the pattern. Okay, now remove any excess clay you don't want, because by using the 99% alcohol, although you are not essentially curing the clay, you're going to be drying it out extensively, and it will make the clay brittle to work with. So you want to remove any excess clay that you don't want to result in being brittle. Then I will shave away these pieces and try and get a nice even slice like that, because then you have this beautiful mica frill. That's at least what I like to call it. And so I like to put these on a piece of paper to use later, and I might demonstrate that actually later on. But you want to do a nice even slice. And now it does take practice. If this is your first time doing Mokume Gane, I would recommend starting actually by creating a mica shift, which is a very similar process. It takes less prep time. You're using only one colour of clay, which means if you mess it up and go too deep, although you will lose the pattern, you could just screw that clay back up into a ball and you can retry. Whereas with Mokume Gane, if you mess it up the first time, you're going to have to start again with new clay. So just if this is your first time doing it, I would recommend starting with a mica shift. Okay, and I don't need to get that too well shaved. I do want to get as much of the raised areas as I can, but if there are some raised areas still, I don't mind. I just want to make sure that I've got that Mokume Gane exposed as best I can. Okay, then again I will trim, because you can always use that leftover clay, and this, once you've got the 99% alcohol in it, again as I said, becomes a little bit harder to work with. Now, before we use the 99% alcohol, we will be flattening this out with a piece of paper. You just take plain printing paper, nothing too special about it. You can use greaseproof paper or wax paper or deli paper, depending on what you call it, as well. But plain printing paper works pretty well. And then all you're doing is you're pressing nice and hard on the surface, and you are rubbing over the surface. Use your fingers, or you can even use your roller, but don't roll. You want to take it and you just want to rub. And this will flatten it out without extending the pattern in any way. It's just going to flatten it straight down. Okay, and then I might roll a little bit in the beginning, towards the end, just to make sure that I got everything. Okay, let's check. That's a really pretty pattern, I quite like that. There are a few areas that I did miss. I can feel that I have got one or two around the edges here. So just take it and burnish. Run your hand over it if you can feel anything. Burnish that area. Okay, and I think we're just about done. Cool. So now we are going to be using our 99% isopropyl alcohol. And now remember, this technique can basically be used with any veneer of polymer clay. I'm using Mokume Gane today. You can use mica shifts, you can use canes. If you've laid out a bunch of canes and flattened it out into a veneer, you can use that as well. You can do it on stamp designs that are not flat, so feel free to play around with it. I'm only going to be able to show a few in the Cracklathon, but there are so many designs that you can do. Okay, then spray it heavily so that it is got a gloss finish basically. Then grab a wet wipe or something along those lines to soak up the alcohol, wipe, and then blow. Until it appears dry. Then repeat, and you'll repeat this about 10 times. You can do it more, but you'll basically start to see very, very fine crackling along the surface of the clay, and it should also offer no resistance when you brush your finger over it. And there we are. So that is just about done after 10 rounds. Now I'm going to pick it up. Now the back will still be very soft and easy to use. However, the front should basically feel dry, very similar to paper. Now I want to bring this up for you to see, and hopefully you can pick up there are cracks forming. There, you can see that. So now this is fairly thin. I'd say it's probably less than 1 millimeter thick. So take that leftover clay from your Mokume Gane, roll it out into a thick sheet that's about 2 millimeters thick, or however thick you would like your finished piece to be. And then place your veneer down onto this. Okay, and the reason I like to do this is because the whole process makes this veneer fairly brittle, especially if it is thin. So if you're working with a thin veneer, or even just a normal thickness, about 2 millimeters, I would always recommend putting on a fresh backing, just because it makes the process a lot easier and saves any tears that might happen, because sometimes I have had them break, and the thing is, once they break, it's very hard to salvage them. Okay, so now gently go and start stretching. You can stretch it by hand, you can run it through the pasta machine, it is completely up to you. But there, hopefully you can see it, that is starting to crackle. And now I'm going to use my roller to start rolling this out and getting this crackle moving. And I can see there's quite a large crack there. And this is a great way to just create interest in your design. Now I don't like to go too far, I like to have a fairly subtle crackle, but you can go as far as you want. So I'd like to keep it about there because I'd like to keep this interesting pebble pattern in the back. There you go. And then at the end, if you want, you can give it a burnish just to flatten it out. Or if you want to keep that nice crackly pattern, crackle texture, you can also leave it as well. But I like to give it a bit of a burnish. There we go. And there is our crackle. Now keep in mind, you can use this technique with many different veneers, and you can use it with just about any Mokume Gane as well. So, I hope that this tutorial was helpful to you. If it was, please let me know in the comments below. And if you would like to vote for your favourite crackle this month, please do consider joining my Facebook group, Jessama Tutorials Polymer Clay Community. I will have a link to it in the description below the video. And if you haven't already checked out the previous day's crackles, please do go and have a look, because I have quite a few so far. I think there's about 10 so far. This will be the 11th, so go and have a look through. There's a lot of foundation techniques that will be built upon in the coming days, so it's good to go back and have a look at those if you haven't already. And as always, I'll see you in the next tutorial. Bye for now.